Hey guys, what's up? I want to share today some tips on how to help people have healthy conversations. We're having a lot of conversations right now, a lot of learning, a lot of growing, and there's a lot of kind of heightened sensitivity to the conversations that we're having. I think a lot of it is great, but a lot of us, if you're like me, feel paralyzed at times as to how do we actually help our students, our kids, even maybe our adults have these conversations. And so a lot of times people feel kind of paralyzed as to, I'm not really sure what to do, I'm not really sure how to help. And so we just kind of almost don't do much. And so I want to talk in this video about a style of communication that'll help you teach your students, teach your kids, maybe your volunteers, how to have some healthy conversations when times get hard. Hey, what's up? I'm Ryan Latham, and I share tips, tools, and conversations to help you and your ministry grow. And in this video, I want to talk about the oops, ouch conversation style. So if you've never heard of it, I had never heard of it, but I saw someone talking about it, and I just said, man, I got to learn more about that. And so I began to research it, look into it. And so I'm still very early in learning about it, but I wanted to jump in here and share it with you guys. But feel free to Google the oops, ouch conversation style. So I want to just kind of walk you through it a little bit. Again, I'm very early in learning about it, so I don't have it all, but you can Google it. But basically the whole idea is kind of around this idea of like, it's like two people dancing, okay? And if one person steps on someone's toes, they're going to say, oops, right? And the person that got stepped on is going to say, ouch. And the whole idea there is that they are agreeing to dance together. They're agreeing to work this out, but they're not really helping each other out if they don't say oops and ouch, and they just pretend like it didn't happen, and the person just keeps stepping on their toes. So one person keeps getting hurt because they keep stepping on their toes, and the other person keeps hurting the person, not even knowing that they are, hopefully. Now, I hope that in your ministry, hope that people that you're leading are intentionally stepping on people's toes, aren't intentionally trying to hurt people, but unintentionally they have. And so the whole idea here is that we begin to teach people in a way that they can have open conversations, say, hey, we're going to agree to love each other. We're going to agree to have grace for each other. I think that's one of the biggest things that we can talk about is having grace for each other in this season, and say, hey, let's have a conversation to really help each other out. So I want to talk through it a little bit. Again, I'm brand new to it, so I'm kind of reading off my notes here. But the whole idea is that you accept, you acknowledge, you apologize, and you adjust. Let me read those again. You accept, you acknowledge, you apologize, and you adjust. Okay, so here's the first one. You got to accept the feedback. So when somebody talks to you and says, hey, I've hurt you, or hey, you've hurt me, you say, thanks for telling me. Okay, so when you step on someone's toes and they say, ouch, you're going to say, thank you for telling me that I hurt you. Thank you for that. Acknowledge. It says this. It says, I don't mean to label you, but I see that I did. So again, or hey, I don't mean to have hurt you with my joke, my comment, but I see that I did. So you got to accept that the person, you thank the person for saying, hey, you've hurt me, right? You stepped on their toes, oops, and they say, ouch, right? They say, ouch, you hurt me. You're going to begin to say, thank you for telling me. And then you say, I see that I hurt you, and I thank you for that. I didn't mean to do that. And then you apologize. I'm so sorry that I said that. I'm so sorry that I did that. Okay, so you've accepted, you've acknowledged, you've apologized, and then the next step is you adjust. Okay, so you adjust and you say, hey, I'm not going to do that again. So again, going back to the dancing illustration there, you're going to adjust to how you dance, to that step that you take before you were on beat and you stepped on their toes. Okay. And so again, when someone says, ouch, you're going to say, oh, thank you for telling me that I hurt you. You're going to acknowledge that you hurt that person. And then you're going to apologize that you hurt that person. And then you're going to adjust. And then again, in the last thing that this method, the oops, ouch method talks about is that there's oftentimes, this is where I think it really gets good, is when the last thing is you ask. And I think that that's been so helpful for me in this season, is really asking, help me understand why that was so hurtful for you, or help me understand, how I can adjust, right? Don't just assume you know how to adjust. Ask that person, how can I adjust? So for example, y'all know, we all know that, the, kids, your mama jokes, right? And I can remember a friend of mine, everyone knows, hey, your mama jokes, are funny, but it really hurt her when people would say those. And I never quite understood it until I really asked her, hey, why are those jokes so hurtful? Because it just seemed to be so much more hurtful to her than other people. And she said, well, because I don't have a mom. My mom passed away when I was younger. So every time someone says your mom, it really hurt her at a deeper level, because it reminded her that her mom passed away, and she could intellectually know that there was just a playground joke, right? But it really did draw up a lot of emotions for her. And so again, I had to ask her, okay, how can we help you? And so we began to first of all, stop saying those, obviously, right? But then also make some adjustments to help her in those times and protect her, right? To protect them from even being said. And so I think that this is a really simple but easy, practical way. And it's kind of goofy, right? Oops, ouch. It sounds goofy, right? And so it even in its title, that comes across as a little bit disarming in just kind of even how it's approached. So oops, ouch, again, like dancing, you step on someone's toes, hopefully unintentionally. Hey, a little bit off beat, a little bit off there, sorry. But they say oops, and giving them the permission to say oops, hey, you hurt me. And what I would say is this is, again, really talking about bathing these conversations in grace and saying, hey, we're brothers and sisters. We're brothers in this, and we want to grow together. We want to be better. I know there's been plenty of times when I have unintentionally stepped on someone's toes. The other thing I would say is this, is to really teach people that when you do step on someone's toes, that you don't wait for them to say oops. You go ahead, you don't wait for them to say ouch. You go ahead and say oops. When you know you've stepped on someone's toes, right? Maybe you've said something and you just kind of feel the whole room just kind of, go ahead and say oops. Hey, I see that I said something that was offensive here. I see that I said something that hurt in this moment. I apologize. Help me know what I said, right? And so again, I would teach people to go ahead and acknowledge that they stepped on someone's toes, and not just wait to see if they actually hurt someone. Wait to see if they acknowledge it. I think it's good for us to really help our people to if they stepped on someone's toes, to jump out there and even say it. Now, maybe there's times where someone steps on someone's toes, or they think they have. They say, oh man, I'm so sorry I said that. Another person might say, no, it's no big deal, right? Or, hey, I get it, right? And so again, helping people have these conversations where it's okay for them to step on someone's toes, and they acknowledge it and say, hey, I'm so sorry. Or when someone steps on their toes, it's okay to say, ouch, that hurt. And they don't have to just take it. They don't have to just pretend like it didn't happen. But again, having a conversation in grace, and giving some people some language on how to say, help me understand why you said that. Help me understand why that was hurtful. Help me understand is a great way to kind of lean into that and just say, hey, I'm so sorry. Again, apologize for what they've said. I hope this has been helpful for you and helping you lead these conversations that are tough. They're not easy to have.